it's
didn't need it to then. My brother doesn't need it to then.
right. Thank you. It's why am I here? Rabbi Roosevelt didn't invite me. Rabbi Rosenblum didn't invite me. No one invited me. In fact, no one invited me.
Wait a second, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here?
As long as you're here,
He know every year he makes a fabringen. So the last few years he asked me to be on the Zoom. So I decided, even before I knew that he's ultimately moving away, at least temporarily, that I want to be in person. I decided
You're coming.
that's it. And I was supposed to be in his house. The next thing he says, it's in the shul with publicity, this, that. So, Bibi Michael, please, Rabbi Isai, but this was supposed to be a homie fabringen, where I can bang him over the head. So I'm going to do that now.
If you want, there's a button that shuts the cameras down momentarily.
Yeah, I'm going to do that now, but I'll do it. It reminds me, Rabbi Yisrael, your father Zolzain Gesund told me once, many years ago, there was a chassid in Eretz Yisrael. His name came from Russia. His name was Reb Zalman Moshe HaYitzchoki. They called him Zalman Moshe HaYadua. And he was a very sharp chassid. They say he knew Samach Vov by heart. He was a big makusher to the Rebbe Rashab. And this Reb Zalman Moshe, as we say in Yiddish, had gehat a Zung. You know what a Zung is? He had a tongue. It doesn't in English. Or we say, it gehat a pisk. He was sharp-witted, and he let you have it. And sometimes he would add pejoratives as well, which we're not going to do at this Fabringen. It's online. Anyway, but he was so sharp at some of the Fabringens over there in Tel Aviv. And the Hasidim, your father told me this, the Hasidim wrote letters to the Rebbe, and probably was that Rebbe Simpson read, whatever. I mean, somehow the Friedrich Rebbe, that they said, "We cannot sein bei a Fabringen mit them. We cannot sit with them." A shell, he curses, And by the way, his son-in-law was Rabbi Avram Mayor, who said that mit dem nicht verstanden. Okay, that's another discussion. I'm not going to go into it now.
Yeah.
In other words, you think he was into the nibble pen? He wasn't into the nibble pen. He was talking to his nefesh abamis, a behema. So he was really giving it to it. Okay, other name, I'm not going to go into it. Bottom line is that the Chassid of Eretz Yisrael wrote to the Friedrich Rebbe, this is in the 1940s. You got to tell him to stop. Guess what? The Rebbe wrote him, the Friedrich Rebbe wrote him, and his father told me that when he got the letter, he stopped cold using such language at Fabringens. So we're not going to lay it in that heavy to you, okay? But my father, may be well, was 17, 18 years old, a little younger than you and I, in the yeshiva by the famous mashpia of Shlomo Chaim Kesselman in Lud, in Eretz Yisrael. So he had a Yom Haledes like you. And it happened to be a Fabringen. Reb Shlomo Chaim was a mashpia, as you probably read in his sefer, in his book about him, that he demanded two things pretty much. Iskafia, to hold yourself back from taivas or achila, from eating and indulging in foods, and davening barichas, and to daven at length with kavana. Those were two of his things. No, many of the boys there were not from Lubavitcher Russian homes, like my father and others, and it took them quite a while to get with it, to understand what my father's side comes from Vishnitz Chassidim. Going to Vishnitz, zinc chain, they sing beautifully. Git Shabbos, Git Shabbos, Git Shabbos. 4,000 people singing Git Shabbos, and you're flying high Friday night when you sing Git Shabbos. Chabad's a different avodah. Chassidus, learning Chassidus, thinking Chassidus, davening Chassidus, it's something completely different. So Reb Shlomo Chaim would get to the boys. He was a master. Where is Penny Herman? Oh, he's a psychologist. Reb Shlomo Chaim Penny was a master psychologist, be'emes. If he went to school like you, he would not just be a psychologist, he would be the top from Harvard and Columbia, whatever. Bottom line is, he truly understood a bacher. So at this Farbrengen, this is one of the things that he would do. He would use the Farbrengen to work on a bacher or two. That he wanted him to daven longer, or daven more kavanah, or to eat less, or to sleep less, to be, an avodas Hashem. The yeshiva there at that time in Lud, my father tells me, no one tzaddikim, but there was a lot of avodas Hashem going on, and serious avodas Hashem. So, it tells my father, this Farbrengen, he was sitting next to Reb Shlomo Chaim like you're sitting there, and he says, he called him by his first name, he said, I have a question for you. What's the difference between a calf and a cow? No? Smart guys here. What's the difference between a calf and a cow? Nicole, what's the difference between a calf and a cow? What do you think?
A calf is a baby and a cow is grown up.
Oh, push it. Reb Shlomo Chaim said something different.
Makabel and Mashpia.
No.
The calf can become a cow, but the cow can become a calf.
No. All true. Everything everyone said is true. It's not what he said. You know what he said? A calf can jump around a lot. A calf can springen. Jumping. A cow can nicht springen. A cow doesn't jump. Farvos. Why? Come on. Why?
Calf has a lot of energy.
No.
It's a lighter.
A calf, and this is the lesson for all of us, but you're the scapegoat tonight. A calf, I have to say it in a clean way, a calf hataklena acharayim, has a small backside, and a cow has a big backside. And b'meila, the calf can jump a lot. It doesn't have a lot of meat on itself. And the cow is this big behemoth, so it can't jump. And he turns to my father and he says, if a birthday means another year stuffing your face with food and growing your belly and your backside and everything else and your ego, then you're a cow. You can't jump around. You can't explore, v'chulu, etc. But if you're a calf, if you'll stay in yeshiva and you'll refine yourself in all these areas, you can jump around and accomplish. I think this is a brilliant insight into what a birthday is about. Regardless of how old a person is, you have to always be a calf. It's similar to a calf, not a cow. In other words, never lose your energy. And there's a lot of white beards and some of the chevra I know. You're not over the hill. We're not over the hill. You can write. You can play an instrument. You can paint. You can be an artist. In other words, let's learn from our Rebbe. They say when Rabbi Gutnik, the Shnei Zalman Gutnik, came to the Rebbe, I think he was 75 years old, and he retired from the synagogue in Melbourne. He became the emeritus rabbi. So he used the word to the Rebbe in Yechidus, I'm retired. Oh, did the Rebbe give it to him? The Rebbe said, I'm older than you and I have plans for the next 20 years. Something like that. The Gemara says that elders, Canim, their mind becomes sharper and sharper because of the Torah, because of the knowledge, and because of the interest. Yes, sometimes the body doesn't cooperate, or we make it not cooperate. So we have to know that and be careful. So it's your Yom Haledes. It's a great time for restitution, reorganizing, refocusing, and truly work on being able to say next year by Yom Haledes Imritz Hashem, I look back and Baruch Hashem, and there's so much more to do. That is health. That is growth. That is excitement. That is accomplishment, and that keeps you young. Rafal, you remember we had a fellow, actually, Rabbi Rosenberg, he learned here in Pittsburgh when there was a yeshiva here in the 1950s. When Reb Zalman Shimon was here, and Sholem Levertov, Simcha Zerkin, and one of them was a bocher named Yosel Moskel. Does anyone know the Moskel family of Lubavitch? So Reb Yosef, Olav Sholem, davened with us in Borough Park in our shul, and he was the elder, even older than Rafal, quite older. And I said to him, Reb Yosef, you want to stay young? Hang out with us, the young guys. And he did. He did. Stay around young people. Young people get you to move. A word, an argument, a niggin, So anyway, that's all I have to say about your Yom Haledes.
Thank you.
That you should take it seriously, and really, people will see you and they'll say, I want to stay young, I want to stay active, I want to stay involved, and I want to help all the Lubavitch institutions
Amen.
continue mamish, because the Rebbe needs everyone, and the Rebbe needs people who support Lubavitch institutions. This is the Rabbeim. This is the Rabbeim. This is not just another institution. This is the Alter Rebbe, the Mittel Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, the Rebbe Marash, the Rebbe Rashab, the Frierdiker Rebbe, and the Rebbe. Be'emes. This is it. We're not talking about the fact that you had Reb Sholem Poizner who was at the Talmud and Tomchei Tmimim. Goes all the Rabbeim. And this continues through the youth. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. So l'chaim, the able to help. Michal, you should stay young.
Amen.
Always stay young.
Amen.
And be a Ner Lahoyer Tmimim. The Tmimim in the Lubavitch Yeshiva called Ner Lahoyer. A light to illuminate. A candle to illuminate
Amen.
others. And remember, be like a calf, not like a cow. L'chaim.
Wait, Dalfin, before we sing a niggin, I just want to bring this, like you mentioned Zalman Moshe.
Yeah.
There's a pisgah that